Hey everybody, my name's Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about getting back to the basics as a society as a whole, and my thoughts on that as a Gen Xer. Before we get into that, I'd like to acknowledge 3 subscribers who contribute regularly to the comments: Lem Handback, Tom Gree, and LJ Smooth. I appreciate all 3 of you. You've been commenting pretty regularly for quite a while now. You've got some really thoughtful ideas and comments that you add to our public pool here, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Back to the basics. And I'm going to start this out by saying this, and this might sound a little weird to some of you or something, but my entire life I've always kind of had a feeling like I've been in the wrong era, like I should be a frontiersman hacking an existence out of the wilderness. I feel like I'm in the wrong place. And it's not like a constant, crazy thing at the front of my mind. It's like a faint feeling in the back of my mind. So I've always had that for as long as I can remember. And I'm not quite sure where that comes from. Maybe it's just from our exposure to Westerns and post-apocalyptic media when we were kids. Maybe it's just straight up indoctrination. I don't know. But I've always had that feeling. And the more complicated this world gets, the stronger I identify with that feeling than I do with the world around me, right? I feel like I could just go off in the woods and escape this crazy ass world. There's just so much going on now with economic wars between countries, all these countries trying to gain economic advantages over each other. China, India, Russia, Europe, United States, all this. And that's just a small part of it. We've got actual wars all over the world. We've got this crazy immigration thing in Europe and in here in America. Just all this crazy stuff. Political landscape is just, that's just insanity. And that's just not here. That's in America. That's in Europe. That's everywhere. All of Western civilization. The politics have just gone completely out of whack, haywire, crazy. And watching this stuff, you're like, what is the world coming to? Where are we headed? I mean, I'm in my early 50s. I have anywhere between another maybe 30 to 50 years left to live. Somewhere in there. That's a long time looking at the world the way it is now and where it's heading. So I think that's part of the attraction Generation X has for a post-apocalyptic existence. It would get us back to the basics. Your basic needs for survival. That's all you'd have to worry about. You wouldn't have to worry about what China's doing over there with their economy, and you wouldn't have to worry about who's getting elected over there in England, or what the Palestinians are doing over there in the Middle East. We wouldn't have to worry about any of that. None of that would affect us. We wouldn't even know about it. They would be doing their own thing over there, which is how it should be now. I mean, if you wanted to go to that channel on TV and you're interested in that stuff, great. But it shouldn't be on front page news everywhere. That we should be concerned with our own house. We should be cleaning and taking care of our own house and the neighbor's house. If we want to go visit them and check out and see what they're doing or give them a call, hey, great. But you don't knock your damn wall down and connect you and your neighbor's house, whether they like it or not, whether they want it or not, whether anybody else in your family wants to do it or not. It's just ridiculous. And mixing all the problems together and creating all this chaos. So Yeah, back to the basics. I think that's my main attraction for a post-apocalyptic existence. Just, what do I need today, this week? What does my family need? Food, shelter, firewood, you know, the basics. I wouldn't have to worry about, what Trudeau's doing in Canada and how he's screwing up those people up there who are just trying to be free and be left alone. But now, why do I even know that that's happening up there? Just all of the chaos and drama and fear being fomented in today's world is exhausting. It's mind-numbing. And even those who are aware of it, of a lot of it anyway, kind of become numb to it. It's because how long I first started paying attention to stuff, probably around the just before maybe the recession, and I was watching Alex Jones and doing different things and starting to pay attention, and then it just went on so long, and I just kind of became numb to it after a while. Nothing changes, nothing, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So then my apocalyptic and post-apocalyptic dreams started coming back. They started coming back to me, and I'm like, well, that would fix it, honestly, that would fix it. And I've read that book, The Stand by Stephen King, I don't know how many times, and I've read the big, 1,500-page unabridged version. I've never read the shorter version. And I've tried to watch the miniseries. They've made a couple of different miniseries off of it, and it's okay. But when they change stuff, from a book, it's kind of hard to watch it after you've read the book. But there's one theme in that book that really always kind of seemed attractive to me, and that was that all the stuff that we had created would just be laying around waiting to be picked up by the survivors. So, basically anything you wanted would just be there. People were, just picking stuff up. Now, the downside of that would be a bunch of people would die. So I'm not hoping a bunch of people die. So just get rid of technology and all the bullshit that comes with it. And in a simpler world, truth and honesty are valued. They would make a comeback. All these lies and crap, a talking head on the media can sit up there and just bald-faced lie, and they do every day, and have no consequences. It's their job. As a matter of fact, the opposite of consequences, they get rewarded for it. Where in simpler times, you get the opposite. You lose trust. You lose, nobody would want to trade with you. It would be detrimental to be dishonest. And it was in days past. So honesty and integrity, honor, these things would have to make a comeback in a simpler society. And I'm almost positive that we could have had that and technology. We could have had a simple society, an honest society, an honest media. We could have had these things, and we could have had technology. But greed, corporations, politicians, they've taken us down a different road. And this isn't the future we were promised as kids. This isn't the future we were shown. This is some bullshit dystopian future that we were warned about. And I'll leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. I appreciate that. For those of you who do, thank you very much. Or you can hop over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I'll put that link down in the description. And if you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there on Redbubble. T-shirts, hats, mugs, stickers, stuff like that. Gen X and Gen X Thinks branded stuff. Feel free to hop over there and check that stuff out, and I'll put that link down in the description as well. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a lot. I thank those of you who do that. I really appreciate it. And if you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments, or you can email us, and the email's over on the channel page. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.